Welcome to a look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Thursday, the 22nd of October. We have new mods. We don't have any updates today. It is no update Thursday, at least not on console. I think there might be a few updates on PC. So, straight into it. In front of us we've got the old water tower. This is by FSSA modding team. In the store menu, I think it comes up as water station. Really nicely detailed with all this sort of additional rust. I don't think you can go up the ladder. I always look for the... Oh, hang on. Hold your horses. Actually, that's quite handy, that. If you're going to be doing pictures, thumbnails, and you need to get a bit of elevation, I always look for things... Yeah, that's pretty handy. If just for that. Once placed, the water's free. The trigger is around the front where the ladder is. I mean, it might be all the way around, but I've found it across the front. We'll have a quick look at that in just a tick. This will use 3 slots. I don't think it's too expensive either. This is under placeables, under miscellaneous. There we go. On the left, water station. 2,800 to buy. And yeah, only 3 slots. There's no colour options or anything like that. You place it, and it's job done. That's the old water tower, or as it says there, water station, by FSSA modding team. What we'll do is have a look at the next one as well, and then we'll have a look at them filling up. Because next to it, we've got this. Now, weirdly, the picture in the Modhub makes it look a lot smaller. This is the water box. This is by Ivankio, Tailan, and Agro mods, I think it is. Yes, Ivankio, Tailan, Agro mods. Same thing, water station, water point. Once placed, the water's free. The tap's round on the front here. What made me laugh, what I like about this, is the description in the Modhub for this. It says a small water tank that goes beyond beautifying your farm. Take that as you will. I mean, it's a water tower at the end of the day. Collects in there. Also serves to fill your trailers with clean, fresh water. This you will also find under placeables, under miscellaneous. There you go. 3,000 to buy, so a little bit more expensive than the other one. And this is only 1 slot, so 2 slots, yeah, less, so a little bit more expensive, less on the slot count. I wasn't taking the mick when I said about the description. I thought it was quite charming. It was a nice thing to write in the description thing. So let's grab a tanker. I had this out from something I was doing the other day, so I just could use a smaller one. But if we open up the help menu, when we come up alongside it, there we go. Already it says start filling. Press L3. We're filling up. It's not costing anything to fill. What I will do is swing round on the other one from the other way, so I don't get the wrong trigger come up. And come up on this one. There you go. Start filling comes up. L3. We are filling up again. Bottom right. It's not costing us a penny. So there we go. That's the 2, well, water tower, old water tower, water station, and the water box. Right, moving on from there, what should we do next? We've got this. This is the Stara Australia 32. This is by Agro Tonho. We do have one already, a standard in-game one. For all intents and purposes, it's the same sower. It's planter seeder. It does the same thing. There's just a couple of extra options and a slightly larger tank capacity on this one. Nicely detailed, as you can see. The only downside with this one I've always found, since it came out on FS19, is it requires a hefty old horsepower to pull it. It's a 14.4 metre, I think it is. Pretty sure it is. This you'll find under tools, under seeders. I know I said sower, planter, it's a seeder, but... So the standard one is there, the Australia 32, which is 26 slots, 215 grand, 420 horsepower, 14.4 metres, runs at 11 miles an hour. If we go right to the very end, to that one there, which is this particular one, 420 horsepower. This will use 28 slots, so it's 2 slots more. Same speed it runs at, same width, just the capacity is more. This is 9,550 litres total. If we click on it here, we can change the main colour, which when you first do it doesn't seem to do anything. So for example, if I do something that's going to stand out, let's go with blue, nothing changes. Rim colour, we can do anything on that palette. Let's go pink, and that changes the rim colour on all the wheels. Then capacity at the moment is 8,750, and what we can do is go up to a 9,800, which adds that extra tank in the middle. That is what the main colour changes. So wherever you put your main colour on, let's go with pink on that as well. If I go capacity up, the tank on the top of there is what changes. And that's it. Those are the options available. We'll hook up to it. It does require a bit of oomph, so we'll open it up. So 4,250 litres of seed, 5,300 litres of fertiliser. When we want to open the tanks up for filling up, L1 and left on the D-pad opens up the 2 round tanks for your seed. Press it again and it opens up the boxes for your fertiliser. I found it was easier to fill up with open. Depends, depends if you're doing it with bags or from pallets or from a seed buy point or whatever you're going to do, or fertiliser, and then press it again and it closes it up. Forward we go, turn it on, drop it down. And we're seeding. There we go. So that's the Estrela 32 by Agro Tonho. Lift it up and fold it up. There we go. Moving on from there, I'm going to show you the tractors next, because I'm going to use those to look at the next mods. So next up, we've got the John Deere 7020 7030 series. This is by BlackSheep. This is a bit of a Marmite one for me, personally, my own personal opinion. I'm not knocking the modder, just saying. There's some good things on this and a couple of negatives, personally, I've found. Good things, sound. We've got 2 options on this. You can have a standard engine sound or a gear shift one, which is great. And the engine sound does sound very, very good. One thing I've noticed walking around each one of these, I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong. I kept looking, thinking, I can't figure it out. There's no depth. And when I say that, yes, it's 3-dimensional. There is depth. You can see what I mean is depth in the texture. I think that's what it is. I'm trying to place it. I think that's what it is. There's no depth to the texture. That could be. It seems a bit flat. I don't know if it could just be my eyesight. But now, when we have a look at the options on this, if we go for the 7020 series, and that's the 7920, we have it across the top there. There's no extra lights or anything like that. If we go for the 7030 series, and that's the 7930, we get the extra lights across the top there, as you can see. So that's got a black section with lights across, that one hasn't. There's a few other options, tyre choices and things like that. And that's why I'm kind of a little bit torn, because I like it as a mod and I like the sound. The other slight little niggle for me, and you'll see when we turn it on, is the ignition startup is great, but you'll see when I turn it on, it's a bit odd. I know I'm not making a lot of sense at the moment, but it will be much clearer when we actually start this up. Let's have a look first. You'll find it under vehicles, under medium tractors. So we've got them both here. We've got the gear shift sound, and we've got the series 7000 series standard sound. 100,000. They're 40 slots each for the first one. The curse of the John Deere, it would appear. And the options are the same on both. Just one's gear shift sound, one's without. And I have got one of each, so we can sound them, so we can sound them, so we can listen to them. So, options available. We can change the rim colour and main colour from used to new. If you go for new, it adds a little bit more on the money, not a huge amount. And the same with main colour, we can have used and we can have new, which makes it a little bit brighter, just a little bit shinier. Then, this is another one of those annoying menus, sorry. So, attach joints. On the front, we have got standard. We've got a 360 kilogram weight. I'm going to go back again. We've got a front hydraulic if you go all the way through the menu, so I've gone backwards through it. There is a front hydraulic. If I go back one again, we've got a 1010 kilogram weight. So it starts off with the 360, then it goes up through different weight sizes. Then once you get to the 1010, it then goes to 3-point link. Otherwise I'm going to be bouncing back and through this menu like a lunatic. Wheel brands, we've got Trelleborg and we've got Michelin. Those are the only two wheel brands we've got on this one. Under Trelleborg, we've got standard, we've got wides, we've got wheel weights, and back to standard again. That's it for tyre choices under Trelleborg. Under Michelin, we've got standard. Now what's this? Standard, wheel weights. The next set of wides, the whole thing drops down. They're a little bit more low profile, so they are wider, but a little bit lower. Wides and weights, and then back to standard. There's no double options, there's no narrows, nothing like that. Those are the tyre choices. Then fenders, we've got without front fender, fenders, and that's it. So you can have a front fender or not. Then the engine setup. So this is where we go through. So we've got the 7020 series and the 7030 series all mixed in here. So the 7720 is 220 horsepower. The 7820 is 197 horsepower. The 7920 is 215, and the 7920 tuned is 255 horsepower. Then we move on to the 30 series, so the 7730, and you notice up on the top of the cab, that's where the lights change. So if you want the lights across the top, you're going to want the 30 series, not the 20. So 7730, lights across the top, is 190 horsepower, 7830, 205 horsepower, 7930, 220 horsepower, and the 7930 tuned at 260 horsepower. So a little bit higher on the horsepower on the 30 series compared to the 20 series. Beacons, we've got standard, without. We can have a left beacon, right beacon, or both beacons, and that's it. Those are the options available. So, I'm trying to think. I think... yeah, both of these are gear shift and that's not. So I'm going to do a gear shift one first. Now listen to the engine and you'll see what I mean. This was my little niggle, but... you get that great sound initially and it just suddenly goes bump. Now I get it, an engine would go to idle, but it would be a little bit more gradual. It just seems to just drop immediately. It's my own personal opinion, just saying, that's what it does. Lights. Now this is a 20 series, so we haven't got lights across that front section, but when we accelerate you'll get the gear shift sound. And that's what I mean, the frustration, because I think the engine sounds great, and when you turn it off you get that like slight wind down, which I like. Inside again, it seems a little bit flat to me. I mean, it's got all the detail in here. The rear view mirrors are quite small and I'm not quite sure what direction they're pointing, because you can't actually see very much out of them at all. They do kind of work, but they seem to be pointed backwards. Well, not backwards, but up a little bit. Horn. And we do have, if I open up my menu, we do have the option to open and close the rear window. So L1, R1 and left stick side to side opens and closes the rear window. And then L1, R1 and right stick up and down opens and closes the left door. So that's the gear shift sound. Lights off. We'll get into the one without gear shift sound. There you go. What we'll do, just before I finish with that one, is we'll look at the 30 series, which has got the lights across the front as well. So we put the lights on. So you get those extra ones across the top section. Like so. So that's the John Deere 7020 7030 series by Black Eyes Modding. take from it what you will. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to use this actually for the next one. We've got the Koeckerling Trio 350. This is by FlavModding. Don't get overexcited. It's not a 3. Just suddenly noticed how low that 3-point link is. Didn't notice it before. That's almost on the ground, isn't it? Right, so this is a 3.5 metre, not a 3. That's not so bad. Really nicely detailed. This will use 7 slots. I think the only option available on this is on the coulters. I think you can have straight shanks, or you can have the ones with like the arrowhead bits on. I think that's the only options available on it. But yeah, nicely detailed. This you'll find under tools, under cultivators. There you go, 22,000 to buy, requires 160 horsepower to pull, 3.5 metre, and it runs at 10 miles per hour. Options available, standard like that, or with the fins on. I mean, they are aesthetic for all intents and purposes because they won't make any difference to, it will cultivate regardless, but you can have them on if you wish. Yeah, see, that's already on the floor. Probably because I haven't got a weight on the front. That suspension's pretty soft, isn't it, on this as well? And away we go. Does exactly what it should. Yeah, that doesn't want to lift out the ground completely, does it? Probably need a front weight. So, that's the Koeckerling Trio 350 by FlavModding. Drop that off. Next up, we've got the Kuhn Akura 10,000 by J.AModding. We've had a few of these recently. This design, anyway, not, I suppose, yeah, these. We had the Stara Hercules, we had the Lizard. What was it called? We had a Lizard one, Maximus, wasn't it? With the Lizard Maximus. But this is the Kuhn Akura 10,000. This is by J.AModding. 10,000 litre. This will spread. So I've got 3. This will do lime, fertiliser and manure, and it will spread out to 24 metres. The good news is, for lime and solid fertiliser, you can unload. Unfortunately, with manure you can't. I think that's because you've got pallets, standard in-game pallets for lime and solid fertiliser, but manure, generally speaking, I know there are modded pallets you can get, so it won't unload because there's no way of unloading it, unfortunately. But really nicely detailed mod, this. Like the other couple we've seen, there's a lot of travel and movement in these. The axle does steer as well. I do like them. I really do. This will use 10 slots for the first one. And what we'll do, I think this was this the lime? Yep, line one first. So we'll see them spread out. See the steering on there as well as we turn. Turn the lights off in there. Turn it on. And now we go to 24 metres. See the travel on the suspension. Let's turn it off. We'll look at the next one as we go over. I should have been a bit closer on that, but we'll see as we go back. I like that. Next up, the fertiliser. Now I didn't show it on the other one, but if I go R1 now, nothing comes up for unload for the manure. L1, R1, L1, R1, nothing for unload. because this is the manure one. Like so. And the fertiliser one, I mean it does exactly the same thing, but I want to show you the unload option. So this will spread out to 24 metres as well. But if I now go R1, the option there to unload, if I press triangle, there we go. So we can unload the fertiliser, solid fertiliser and the lime, but we can't unload the manure, unfortunately. But it's good to be able to do that. I mean, to be fair, manure you tend to get through a lot quicker, and it's a bit cheaper to buy, generally speaking, so it wouldn't matter if you had to run it down to empty it out. Okay, this you'll find. Turn that off. Under fertiliser technology, I think it was. There we go, the ACCURA 10,000, 13,554 to buy. Requires 125 horsepower, so not too hefty on the horsepower requirement. Like I've already said, it will do 24 metre spread. It will do lime, fertiliser and manure, and it will run at 12 miles per hour. Options available, there are none. You get exactly that. Very nice mod that. That's by J.AModding. Which brings me on to the last of the mods for today. And this is potentially something rather cool. I forgot to put the thing up. This is the Case 8575 baler, square baler. This is by Adub modding, Perma modding and Blacksheep modding. So they've all had a hand in this. You can just see the Case logo on there. It's fairly cheap, not too expensive, not too heavy on the slot count. It's only 9 slots, which is rather handy. But what you might notice on the back there is that. Now, I'm sure from Blacksheep modding on FS17 we had a baler with a bale stacker that went on the back of it, didn't we? I'm sure we did. And you could buy the baler with the option to have that attachment on it. I'm sure I'm not misremembering. Won't be the first time I had. But at the moment, I've had a bit of a fiddle around. Well, you'll see in a minute. I kind of jury-rigged something to work, but I'm pretty sure people will then go out and try all sorts of mods, all sorts of things. The first thing I thought when I first saw that, and we're going to have a look at the mod, don't worry. You'll find it under baling technology. So there it is, 24,000, so not too expensive to buy for a square baler. Requires 85 horsepower. We're on at 14 miles per hour, and like I say, only 9 slots. Options available: design, standard, or with warning triangle on the back. Those are your options. Now, what I did look at was, I thought, oh, hang on a minute. If that's got a hook, what about the bale collect? You could hook the bale collect on, but the only problem with the bale collect is it will only open up when it's attached to the big pack, and when it is attached to the big pack, it pulls it in towards it to work. Now that does attach, but you can't open it and you can't get it to work. If you attach it to that and open it up, it then won't detach. So that doesn't work. I did try it, I thought I'd give it a go, but then I had another idea. First, hook it up. We can obviously raise and lower the pickup, like so. Open the back up. It's got a beacon on. Start up. And away we go. So for a fairly inexpensive square baler, it does the job. So I had a bit of a zany idea. Before that one finishes its job, I'm going to turn that off a second. I fold that back up and I'm going to go and grab something. Now this is jury rigged. This is just a kind of proof of concept, an idea I had. And I thought, you know what? It's worth showing. This is the Aduranti pack trailer, and this is an auto load trailer. This one. There are loads of configurations for it. This does hook up, but it has a PTO under there, which unfortunately doesn't hook up. So as long as you can kind of just ignore that for a moment, and I'm sure there are going to be other bale trailers that are out there which are available. Now you need one specifically, I think, I don't know, not necessarily, it depends on what you fiddle around with, that doesn't have a front creel. That's why I went for this one. So if I jump back into it, switch to the back one, transport position, operating position. Now I go back and we'll carry on baling. And like I say, that PTO is a bit annoying. If you're going for realism, then you're not going to do this anyway. But just as a kind of idea, let's turn on the baler. When that bale comes out the end, it goes like that. I'm pretty sure this bale trailer will hold 24 bales as well. So as we go, that trailer hitch is just golden. It's, you know, and like I say, with any of these mods where you sort of say, oh, I wonder, there's a potential. Once this gets into the hands of the farming community, and people then go, you'll find all sorts of incredibly zany, weird and wonderful ideas that people come up with to get it to work, and they'll try all sorts of trailers, but I just thought I'd show you it does work, and it works very well. I'm probably sure, the fact it has got the hook on there could be a remnant from a previous mod or putting it together. I did try and have a look on ACCURA's Facebook page and Blacksheep Moddings. I didn't look on Perma Moddings though, to see if they have got a bale stacker in the pipeline, and I couldn't see anything, but potentially something could be coming along that will fit with this perfectly. But for now, the Case 8575 square baler, great with the slot count, not too expensive, and it can do that, which I love. Brilliant. And that is it for the mods for today. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.